Welcome back to Dimitra's Dishes. So today we're going to be making shrimp saganaki. Shrimp saganaki is traditionally served as an appetizer in Greece, but today you can do it as an appetizer, but I like to serve it as a main course. It's really hearty. It's a shrimp dish that's made with a hearty tomato sauce that has feta and lots of herbs in it. It's so good, and it tastes extra good, especially served on top of pasta like linguine or whatever your favorite pasta is. I really like to serve it with couscous as well and some nice hearty bread on the side. So we're gonna go over the ingredients and get started. It's really quick and simple to make and really high in flavor. So we're gonna start with some shrimp, and I have already peeled and deveined my shrimp, which means I took that vein out of the back and I washed them and dried them, and I just left their tails on. Now when it comes to shrimp and any kind of seafood really, or anything that comes from the sea, I like to buy wild caught. I never use farm-raised fish or farm-raised shrimp or anything that's farm-raised. It's yucky. It's not, in my opinion, it's not good made for human consumption. So traditionally, I usually like to use jumbo shrimp, but any kind of wild shrimp that you can find, use it. And you're gonna need about a pound. So we need some, what is this? I forgot what it's called. I have pregnancy mom brain. Oregano, dried oregano, a little bit of chopped up onion, and you want to really finely chop this up, okay? However you can. I have a video on how to do that. If you really want to whip out a gadget, go ahead and chop it up in a little gadget. It just should be really finely chopped. Some crushed red pepper flakes, some sliced garlic. I love garlic. I put garlic in all of my savory dishes. Whatever you don't like, just leave out. It's fine. You're making it, make it the way you like it. Some freshly chopped parsley, a little bit of water, salt, pepper, olive oil, of course. Really good feta cheese. My favorite feta cheese is a sheep's milk feta called the Danis. If you can find it, get it. It's way better than any other feta you'll probably ever try. Crushed tomatoes. Now, crushed tomatoes, sometimes, again, I've talked about the tomato aisle, the canned tomato aisle. It's really drives me crazy going in there and trying to find crushed tomatoes. You don't have to get crushed tomatoes. You could definitely grate your own tomatoes and get like 2 cups worth of grated tomato and use that. I like to have canned tomatoes in my pantry all the time. It saves me a lot of prep work, a lot of time. If you have canned whole tomatoes, just puree them up. Whatever kind of tomatoes you have, puree them up and use them in this dish. And we're going to need a tiny bit of sugar for this to balance out the acidity in the sauce. So we're going to begin with our pan. In our pan, we're going to heat up some olive oil. Now, saganaki refers to the type of pan that's used in Greek cooking. And usually it's like a pan like this that has 2 handles. So since this is going to go in the broiler for a few minutes to kind of finish it off, make sure that you're using a pan. I smell gas, but I don't see fire. Make sure that you're using a pan that can go underneath the broiler in the oven, that doesn't kind of have like a rubber handle or something. Anything that's metal like this will work fine. Begin with that so that way you don't have to wash a million things later on and transfer. If you have a frying pan that goes in under the broiler that has a metal handle, go ahead and use that. This is not a really saucy dish that has that much sauce. It just has enough. So we're just going to coat the bottom of the pan and make it smoking hot, because we're going to cook the shrimp just for about a minute on each side, just to kind of get some, lock in some of that flavor. And then we're going to move on to the next step. As soon as this gets smoky, we're going to add the shrimp to it. It's a good idea to not overcrowd the pan, otherwise they'll release a lot of liquid and ruin your whole sauce and ruin the whole point, because they'll shrivel up, and you're not trying to completely cook these. You're just getting a nice seal on them. All you need is just a few seconds on each side. We're going to continue doing this with the other batch, with the rest of these, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so I'm finishing up with my last batch of shrimp, which was my second batch. Actually, they're going to have a nice pink color and a little bit of a crust on them, and I'm going to reduce the heat. And we're going to leave all these bits of shrimp that are stuck to the bottom of the pan in the pan. It's going to add more flavor. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit more olive oil to this. And I'm going to add my onions. And I'm going to let these cook heat for about 7 to 10 minutes until they're translucent and golden. You don't want them to turn brown. All right, so now we're going to add, our onions are done. They're nice and golden and cooked. And the bits of the shrimp have given a lot of flavor. I'm going to put some of my garlic in here and allow that to cook for another 2-3 more minutes to soften. So I'm going to cover this and let it cook on medium-low heat for 2 to 3 more minutes, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so my garlic has done cooking. At this point, we're going to add the crushed tomatoes, about 2 cups. We're going to add a little bit of water. Some crushed red pepper flakes, a little bit of salt, just a little, because remember we're going to add feta to this and we don't want this to end up way too salty. A little bit of black pepper and some dried oregano. So we're going to let this cook until it thickens a little bit, which should just take a few minutes. And now you want to do this over medium-high. And it's going to make a really nice, thick sauce. We're almost there. So I'll show you what the sauce looks like in just a few minutes when it's done cooking down. Oh, the last thing that I forgot to do is add some sugar in here. So tomatoes are pretty acidic. I'm going to add just a teaspoon of sugar, and it's not going to make it sweet or anything. It's just going to balance out the acidity in the tomato sauce. And I like to do that anytime I'm making a tomato-based sauce. I'm going to cover it up and let it cook a little bit more, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, so the sauce has been cooking for about 5-6 minutes. Let me turn the heat off because it looks perfect. See how it's thickened? Thickened really beautifully. At this point, you want to carefully taste it, careful not to burn your tongue, and see if it needs any more seasoning like salt or pepper. Remember, it's going to get cheese right now in just a few seconds, so don't go crazy with the salt. It's perfect to me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add the shrimp back in here. I'm going to put some feta cheese as well. My recipe does say, I think it says something like a cup of crumbled feta cheese, but if you know me, you know that I love my feta, so I always put much more than the recipe says. But start off with a little bit, and if you like it, if you really like it, you can work, you can add a little more. But if you know you love it, then definitely add a little more. I'm going to put some of this dried oregano on here, wash my hands. I'm going to pop this under my broiler because you want this to broil and kind of get even more, a little bit more thicker and kind of charred on top. It's going to melt the feta slightly, and then I will show you what it looks like. So it's going to go under the broiler for about like 5 minutes. Look at how beautiful this is. I mean, isn't that just to die for? All you have to do now, all I'm doing now is boiling some water so I can, boil some pasta to serve with this. I'm going to add my chopped fresh parsley to get a little bit of a green color on here. The only thing that I didn't have that's on my recipe, if you get this recipe from my blog, is scallions, which are also known as green onions in other parts of the world. I didn't have any, so I didn't use them. That's completely fine. If I did have them, I would have put them in when I put my feta in and put it in the broiler. Another thing you do is add some spicy green peppers or red peppers in here while you were cooking it. That's also common. Olives, chopped up olives are delicious in this. So pretty much make it the way you enjoy it. I'm going to cut some lemon on here because lemon, so if you ever serve tomato sauce, lemon really lightens it up, and especially things that have cheese in it. If you squeeze some lemon over it when you're serving it, it's delicious. I'm gonna get my plate and take a little bit out so I can show you what it looks like. Take out some of these shrimp with the sauce. I'm not a huge pasta fan, so I could eat this very, very happily with some crusty bread and a nice salad. It's good for me. But pasta, my kids love it, and it's delicious with this, especially with the sauce. I mean, this sauce is very, very flavorful. The whole recipe with the exact measurements is on my website, www.dimitrasdishes.com. Let me know how it turns out when you make it. Look at that. Isn't that yummy? Doesn't that look completely ready to eat? I'm going to wait until it cools down a bit, then I'm going to